going to make me a good chap, shining steel, smelted in the fire. I'll cut you down like an old oak tree. It's a dirty old town. It's a dirty old town. In the west. Dirty old town. He said that's not Dublin.
No, it's about.
Thanks, Eric. Yeah.
It could be. It could be about Tottenham.
Our story goes beyond just a place. It's been a very organic journey, watching this building grow from nothing to what it is today.
Completely from local people living in this area, working in this area, making this a success.
I mean, when we first started, we used to go and buy cakes at the corner shop, and we had a kettle and a few cups, and we used to make tea and instant coffee and make a few sandwiches.
And it was important because there was nothing here. People wouldn't be able to make a day of coming to the park.
People loved it. They could see it. They could grasp what it was about from the beginning, because it was something we'd never had in the park before.
This was an area that was quite run down. This park was very sort of run down, and it really was through the work of the Friends that it was completely sort of redeveloped, working in partnership with the council, not being driven by the council. And then this building was built as part of that, and then we came along as the Friends group, the community members, and said, well, let's run this ourselves. Let's actually take this over and have it owned by the community.
No pulling, no pulling.
The dates for December and January.
Use the ankle, round and round. That's 2, 3, and 4.
And then just breathe to that bit.
Rock and roll. Rock and roll and
We were very aware that we wanted to make it something for everyone, and that we wanted people to feel a part of it. So because we had that ethos and because we acted accordingly, then other people could feel more able to, come in and be part of it.
use those elbows, come on, take it in.
You come and cook something. Can you stop?
People are very good at saying, I think you should do this. You think you should offer that. Our answer would always be, yes, well, if you would like to try and get that together, that would be fantastic and we'll support you. So I think people got that attitude to it, that they could see it as a place that they could mould.
Are we ready? Other foot Victoria, other foot Etta, other foot Astrid, other foot Megan.
Something where people, whoever they were within the community, could become not just a donor or a user of the service, but could actually contribute to the running of the organisation and even have ownership of it. So we pay all of our staff well above the London living wage. We have a flat management structure so that everybody is valued, everybody has an equal say in what goes on in the organisation, and those cooperative values that we have are hopefully seen in everything that we do and the way we work with all the community groups in the area and the groups that operate in the park as well.
They've heard of it, word of mouth, it's spread. People come to the park and to the hub, as a destination, from other places too.
And once local people get through the door, they may be coming for one thing, but find out that there's actually something else here that catches their attention or inspires them to do something else. So we have park groups, the wildlife group, for instance, do tree mapping or wildflower counts. Little things like that are free activities that are accessible to anybody.
Well, I grew it on there, though. Don't have to grow it on there. Yeah.
I see that the types of activities that we're running are growing and changing.
We have to make sure, it's our responsibility to make sure that we're reaching and connecting with everybody in the community on some level. Constantly, when we're looking at event prices, when we're looking at activity prices, when we're looking at changing our menu, what's going to be on there, that makes sure that no one feels it's not a place for them.
that's right.
It's a totally different type of building. Lots of other buildings are breeze block and metal and glass. This has a certain feel to it because of the nature of the materials used. People say it feels like home.
Exhale, lift. And even, let's take the fingers to the ceiling. So we exhale round in the back. The back should be getting a lot sort of smoother, softer.
And then we're just going to thank our partner.
Thank you.
And then bring back.
I'm just so lucky. I'm in this place. I mean, it's just such a beautiful spot. You can be working hard in the cafe, making cakes, doing this, serving hundreds of people, and then you can go out and stand on the steps and you can watch ducks and geese and, you know, starlings doing their thing. And
Oh my goodness! It's the best job in the world. This was the park I grew up with. It's the park my children grew up with, and my office is in the middle of the most amazing landscape.
We're right next to Broadwater Farm Estate, which has a lot of deprivation, and we get lots of people coming from the estate to come into the park and come into the building and use the building, and people who are volunteering here, who are working here, live in and around this area.
The board and the members being local means that we're all very keyed in to what's needed from a real grassroots level, rather than a predictive level of what is assumed is needed in areas like this.
Cold, isn't it? I told you it was cold. I told you it was cold.
And that for me is key in seeing and making real change happen, and making real change a long-term change, not just a plaster that you sort of put on in the hope that the pain will go away, that the suffering will go away.
We're such a diverse range of people that are involved in volunteering, in staffing and managing the building. It's from people who have been living in Tottenham for 60 years to people who have moved here in the last few years.
It's a place, particularly in the kitchen, where we've got a facility for volunteers to come and get experience, to come and give something back.
because it's hard work and relentless work, all the people that volunteer and work here, which is about 50 people, they have a kind of camaraderie and, well, I don't know, it's a great friendship between people based on what we do here.
Wait, not a tortilla chips? Is it just me? But I don't want anyone to...
These are things that we know we can do and that we'll need to do to be able to support the community as it changes. We've got huge amounts of redevelopment happening, and that's on 3 sides of this park. A lot of local residents will begin to feel very isolated because change is very scary, and big change of the type we're talking about, the demolition and redevelopment of large-scale housing estates. Our strength will be continuing to represent and continuing to be here for everybody.
One of the fantastic things about being in a park and being an open building in a park is that we have everybody from the way you want to define people, we have every group that lives in Tottenham, which is people from all over the world, of course, come to the park and come and use the building. Each community has their places that they go. And I think the park is the big leveller, if you like. Everybody comes to the park, and so everybody comes in here.
It really is a community. It really is like a village.
You know, people having their celebrations here, weddings and birthdays and these kinds of things. And
it's a place for people to not only come and get something to eat, get something to drink, but just sit down, have a chat, take the weight off, find out what's going on in their community.
Because we have a lot of volunteers that maybe, you know, are not your normal cafe people, and people appreciate that, and they just allow people to be who they are, and we allow our customers to be who they are, and you know, it's kind of a lovely place for a lot of people who may have been isolated before. You can come here now and feel it's their place.
Put that there. You had to pass it back to me. With that teddy bear now.
You'll just go.
Bed.
Well, yeah, I can't reach it now.
They come back time and time again, and you know, when we first started, a lot of women came in here pregnant, and then we would see them after their babies were born. They'd come in with like their week-old baby, and then we would see that baby develop, and then suddenly they're toddlers and running about, and it's just, I don't know, it's like they're growing at the same time as we're growing, and it's a joint process.
We need to be that consistent. We need to be that thread that runs through it all, that people can turn to and know, well, we're here.
Really, it's just about cementing what we've done so far and then being able to grow in a sustainable way along the same kinds of lines.
I've been part of its regeneration, and so of a lot of other people, and I've met some fantastic people along the way, and that we're able to now have this building and for it to be so many things for so many people.
There's nothing that we majorly want to change about what we're doing. We just want to do more of it. We want to be able to employ more people, support more volunteers, have many, many more activities running. We feel we're doing a good job, but of course there's always more to do.